Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Election Commission issues advisory to political parties and campaigners to exercise caution and restraint in their utterances during campaigning. Campaigning gains momentum for Karnataka Assembly Elections. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh calls for collaborative efforts to deal with common challenges in the Indian Ocean region, hands over fast patrol vessel and landing craft assault ship to the Maldives. Sent asks states and union territories to take action to curb outdoor advertisements for betting and gambling platforms. Gujarat High Court refuses to grant any interim relief to Congress Leader Rahul Gandhi in defamation case over his Modi Surname remarks. And India top-ranked team in latest ICC rankings. The Election Commission today issued an advisory to all national and state party candidates and all-star campaigners to exercise caution and restraint in their utterances during campaigning and not to vitiate the election atmosphere. The Commission issued this advisory in view of plummeting levels of campaign discourse in the ongoing general election to the Karnataka Legislative Assembly. ECI directed Chief Electoral Officers for compliance of advisory and initiating appropriate and timely action as per extant regulatory and legal framework. In its advisory, ECI stated that it is imperative for all parties and stakeholders to remain within the confines of the Model Code of Conduct and the legal framework in their utterances while campaigning. The Commission says that it is necessary to maintain the dignity of the political discourse and not to vitiate the campaign and the election atmosphere. Political parties have intensified election campaigns as the Karnataka Assembly election approaches nearer. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held 3 public meetings today and 1 mega road show at Kalaburgi this afternoon on the second leg of his 2-day election campaign. Addressing a public rally at Hospete, the Prime Minister said the double-engine government in Karnataka has worked for the welfare of people experiencing poverty to ensure social justice and empowerment.
कर्नाटका में कांग्रेस जेडीएस की सरकार रही तब तक हर प्रोजेक्ट पर काम धीमी गति से होता रहा। डबल इंजन सरकार बनते ही इसमें नई गति आई है। कर्नाटका में हाईवे, रेलवे, एयरपोर्ट के लिए सरकार ने बजट में कई गुना वृद्धि की है।
Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi addressed a public meeting at Mandya. Former Prime Minister and Janata Dal secular leader H.D. Devegowda and his son D.K. Kumaraswamy also held public meetings and roadshows at different places to woo voters in their favour. More from our correspondent.
The highlight of today's electioneering was Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Will-Win campaign and manifesto of the Congress party. While Congress and BJP leaders countered each other's manifestos, JDS raised the issues of local importance and assured the voters that regional parties alone could safeguard the state's interest. The social media posts who were abuzz with the Prime Minister's campaign and Congress manifesto. With Sudhindra, this is SN Patnaik, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The BJP today approached the Election Commission over Congress leader Priyanka Kharge's alleged derogatory remarks against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A BJP delegation led by Union Minister Piyush Goyal met the Commission in New Delhi today over the issue. Talking to reporters after meeting the poll panel, Mr. Goyal said the kind of objectionable language being used by Congress leaders for the Prime Minister and constitutional authorities shows their desperation. He said the party has demanded to take preventive and punitive action against Priyanka Kharge and also lodge an FIR against him. The BJP today hit out at the Congress for drawing a parallel between the banned Popular Front of India PFI and the Bajrang Dal and promising its ban in the party's Karnataka poll manifesto. Talking to media in New Delhi, party spokesperson Sambit Patra alleged that it is an attempt by the Congress to save the PFI. He accused the Congress of doing appeasement politics and being against a particular community. Nationalist Congress Party President Sharad Pawar announced his decision to retire from the post of party president in Mumbai today. He also clarified that he will not fight in any election after his term of Rajya Sabha membership is over. He was speaking at the launch of the new edition of his autobiography, Lok Maje Sangati. While speaking about the party's next leadership, he has suggested to form a committee of NCP leaders to decide the future direction regarding the party organization and to select the right candidate as the party president. Pawar has clarified that even if he retires from the post of party president, he will continue to work in public life. Sharad Pawar has been serving as the NCP's president since its inception in 1999. Meanwhile, Congress State President Nana Patole has reacted that Sharad Pawar's resignation will not make any difference to the Mahavikas Aghadi. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today called for enhanced cooperation among nations in the Indian Ocean region to address the common challenges. He was speaking after handing over a fast patrol vessel and a landing craft assault ship to the Maldives National Defence Forces MNDF. The fast patrol vessel, capable of coastal and offshore surveillance at high speeds, was commissioned as MNDF Coast Guard ship Ravi. President of the Maldives, Ibrahim Mohammed Saleh, and Defence Minister Maria Madidi were present on the occasion. Speaking on the occasion, the Defence Minister described the handing over of the two Made in India platforms as a symbol of the shared commitment of India and the Maldives towards peace and security in the Indian Ocean region. Earlier, the Defence Minister held talks with Maldivian President Ibrahim Saleh and discussed bilateral issues. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur called upon the youth to visit several scenic and historical places across the country, which would strengthen the spirit of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. He was addressing the Global Open Fest Youth Vibe at a private university in Jalandhar today. He said the youth should visit especially the border areas of the country to get new exposure. Anurag Singh Thakur said thousands of startups are working in the country today on the call of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which reflects the strong will of the country's youth power. The Union Minister also met and encouraged the differently abled players who won medals at national and international level and took selfies with them. The Unique Identification Authority of India, UIDAI, has allowed residents to verify their mobile numbers and email IDs seeded with their Aadhaar. The authority said it had come to notice that in some instances, residents were not aware or sure which of their mobile numbers is seeded to their Aadhaar. The Electronics and IT Ministry said now with this facility, the residents can check this information quite easily. The facility can be availed under Verify Email and Mobile Number feature on the official website or through M-Aadhaar app. The daily toll collection through FASTag system has achieved a historic milestone, reaching an all-time high collection of over 193 crore rupees in a single day. The Road Transport and Highways Ministry said over 1 crore 16 lakh transactions were recorded in a single day on the 29th of last month. The implementation of the FASTag system for toll collection in India has been a resounding success with a consistent growth trajectory. The FASTag has been made mandatory for vehicles from the 1st of January 2021. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. The Centre has requested all states and union territories to take appropriate action to curb outdoor advertisements of betting and gambling platforms. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Secretary Apurva Chandra has written a letter to Chief Secretaries of all states and UTs in this regard. He said, betting and gambling is illegal in most parts of the country as they pose financial and socio-economic risk for the consumers, especially youth and children. Mr. Chandra said advertisements of online betting websites and platforms have been largely curbed in mainstream print, electronic and digital media, but it has now come to notice that some betting and gambling platforms have started using outdoor media. He said they are now using hoardings, posters, banners, auto rickshaw branding to promote their websites and apps in the country. The last date for submitting claims under the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme is the 30th of next month. The scheme commenced from the 17th of last month for relief to micro, small and medium enterprises sector, MSMEs. The Finance Ministry has launched the scheme Vivad Se Vishwas 1, Relief to MSMEs, for the COVID-19 period. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had announced the scheme in the Union Budget 2023-24. Under the scheme, the ministries have been asked to refund performance security, bid security and liquidated damages deducted during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Gujarat High Court has refused to grant any interim relief to Congress Leader Rahul Gandhi in the defamation case over his Modi Surname remarks. The bench of Justice Hemant Prachak heard the matter today and decided to pronounce the final verdict post the summer vacation. Mr. Gandhi had moved the High Court to suspend his conviction and 2-year jail term in the criminal defamation case. Gandhi was disqualified as a Member of Parliament after the Surat trial court sentenced him to 2 years in jail in the criminal defamation case. Chief of Air Staff Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary presented AN-32 spares to Commander of Sri Lankan Air Force for operationalization of the aircraft held by Sri Lanka. The presentation of spares is in line with India's commitment towards capacity building of Sri Lanka's armed forces and will ensure high operational readiness of the aircraft. A report.
The visit of Chief of Air Staff is in line with strengthening the existing relations between the two countries and facilitate discussions towards the vision of security and growth for all in the region. Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary presented AN-32 spares to Commander of Sri Lankan Air Force for operationalization of the aircraft held by Sri Lanka. Mr. Chaudhary interacted with the students at the National Defence College, where he presented books worth 1 crore Lankan rupees as a gift from Government of India. Mr. Chaudhary called on the commanders of Sri Lanka Air Force and Sri Lankan Navy. The Indian Air Chief Marshal also met Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Mr. Chaudhary will proceed to Trincomalee tomorrow, where he will lay the foundation stone for the India-Sri Lanka Friendship Auditorium at the Sri Lanka Air Force Academy. For AIR News, Ahmed Moin Farooqi, Colombo.
High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh Pranay Verma has emphasized the long-term significance of connectivity in facilitating closer economic, cultural and people-to-people ties between the two countries. Delivering the keynote address at a seminar in Dhaka today, High Commissioner Verma said raising the scope and quality of connectivity is a common aspiration as well as a driver of India's growing partnership with Bangladesh. He pointed out that the future links between the two countries would be shaped by multimodal connectivity, including through road and rail, inland waterways, coastal shipping as well as energy and digital connectivity. News Just In, External Affairs Ministry today said the Indian Embassy in Sudan's Khartoum will be temporarily relocated to Port Sudan. It said the decision has been taken in view of the prevailing security situation in Sudan, including attacks in Khartoum city. The ministry said the situation will be assessed in the light of further developments. In Sudan, the fighting between the rival army factions has entered the third week, displacing over 330,000 people within the country so far. According to reports, more than 1 lakh Sudanese are trying to cross the border to reach a safer place. Refugees have also been fleeing over Sudan's border with Egypt in the north and Chad in the west. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, has warned that the number of people fleeing could surpass 8 lakhs if the conflict does not end. Many reports estimated over 500 casualties, while more than 4,500 people have reportedly been injured since the fighting began. The India Meteorological Department, IMD, has issued an orange alert for rainfall over almost entire northwest India. According to senior scientist at IMD, Naresh Kumar, the western disturbances are currently situated over Haryana along with Pakistan and adjoining areas, which will lead to rainfall activities in northwest India. Due to this, the Weather Department has issued warning of heavy rainfall over Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. India surpassed Australia to become the number 1 test team in the latest rankings released by the International Cricket Council ICC today. Australia's reign at the top of the men's test rankings comes to an end after 15 months, with India going past the Aussies ahead of next month's ICC World Test Championship final. India currently sits at the top of the ladder with 121 points, with Australia in the second spot with 116 points. BCCI Secretary Jay Shah congratulated Team India for becoming the number 1 test team in the world. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Election Commission issues advisory to political parties and campaigners to exercise caution and restraint in their utterances during campaigning. Campaigning gains momentum for Karnataka Assembly Elections. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh calls for collaborative efforts to deal with common challenges in the Indian Ocean region, hands over fast patrol vessel and landing craft assault ship to the Maldives. Centre asked states and union territories to take action to curb outdoor advertisements of betting and gambling platforms. Gujarat High Court refuses to grant interim relief to Congress Leader Rahul Gandhi in defamation case. India top-ranked team in latest ICC rankings. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.